Darren, how's John Taylor to start with?
Yeah, he's taken quite a bad knock. He'll be touch and go. We say that most weeks about John. He's touch and go. He's a tough little boy though, so hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, just swollen ankle, is it?
Yeah, it's swollen. But he's got obviously another 48 hours, so he didn't train today, but well, hopefully he'll be okay.
I suppose that has to be good news that he's even in contention, because it did look quite nasty, didn't it, on Tuesday night?
Yeah, I mean, we're still awaiting results of the scan, and obviously that would tell us more, but at the moment it's swelling and we're hoping that goes down.
Some good news on Jermaine Anderson yesterday, 4-year contract, reward for the progress he's made.
Yeah, I think the boy's done remarkably well. We always had high hopes for him, but sometimes it takes longer for others. But this season was the one I sort of panned out from, where he'd be more of a regular. Last season he did very well. I think, as I said in pre-season, we now feel that he can go game to game and be okay. Of course he will have to come out eventually. I don't know about 46 games, but I suppose in a way, we've got Saturday coming up, and then after that we've got 4 weeks without a Tuesday game, and then we can manage him a little bit better then, and I think that's the case for a lot of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, were you considering giving him a rest for this weekend, because you took him off, didn't you, at half time, but it sounds as though maybe he'll be okay for this weekend.
No, I think I took him off at half time just purely because I felt he looked a little bit fatigued, and he said that himself, and I think that was just affecting his touch and things like that. Yeah, he didn't play badly at all, but I knew Joe would give us a bit more energy in there because he was fresher, and that's what he did. You
won't want to put too much pressure on Jermaine, I know, but given his temperament and his talent, how far could he go, do you think?
Well, he's only young, and I think you can always gauge young players of how quickly they develop and how quickly they pick up on things, and Jermaine's probably one of the better ones at that. I don't want to put too much pressure on the boy, but the fact that we're a team in League One trying to break into the Championship, and he's a regular in the team at a young age, and he was playing a lot of games last season, then tells you its own story, really.
Is there a temptation to freshen it up a touch this weekend for the long trip to Yeovil?
It'll depend on injuries, I think. I think we're waiting on one or two. The ones that were not available Tuesday won't be available Saturday, so maybe Cosy, but no, I'll have to really determine that in terms of if, like, John and people like that are fit.
Is Cosy got a chance then, possibly?
A small one.
Joe Newell came on, didn't he, and did very well, particularly when he was playing in that central role. Has he given you a problem and perhaps a selection dilemma there?
Yeah, again, it will depend on injuries where he'll play. He will play. I'm going to start him. It just depends what I play on, that's all, and what formation I play. I've got different thoughts on that, but we did a bit of work today, and the players, I have to say, were very, very good. We'll touch on it tomorrow, and then we'll travel down there. But Joe's performance was a good one, and eventually the development I'll be giving him and my coaches is to play central midfield. But within that, you can play different positions, which you will have to do. Yeah,
the one thing your squad has really demonstrated this season is their versatility. I think most of the players have probably been asked to play out of position at some point, and they've slotted in really well. And Joe is one who can obviously play in midfield, but could also fit in at left back if required.
Yeah, he's played wing back, he's played in the hole in the diamond, he's played in the left of it, he's played left wing, right wing, centre midfield. He's flexible, and I like that about players. It's one thing I do look about my players and whether they can play in different positions. I think we've used more players than anyone, I've been told this morning. I haven't picked the same team twice, I don't think. So yeah, we've had a lot of injuries, but you have to give even more credit to my players then for the way they've gone about it and for doing so well. Yeah,
is a change of system possible then for this weekend? Of course, you've shown already you can play through at the back, particularly away from home, very well.
It's always a possibility, always. And we'll work on one or two different things, but I think whatever formation we play, the most important thing is we need to be better in that last third. That's really, I think we had something like between the Notts County and Gillingham, 30 odd shots, and I don't think the keepers had too many saves to make. So again, that tells its own story, and that's something we were working on today. And we have to get better at that area of the pitch, because I think generally in games we've had a larger percentage of possession. We do get a lot of chances in games and opportunities in the last third, and it's an area we need to get better at.
Will Gabby be back in the squad for this Saturday?
Yeah, Gabby will be back. He'll be back in the squad, and he's understood the reasons, and the reasons were the correct ones, the why he wasn't, but he'll be back in the squad.
I'm sure it hasn't escaped your notice that Yeovil are really struggling at home. No wins this season, but that stretches right back to March. I think it's 10 in the league without a win at Hewish Park. Is that something you touch on in your team talk?
Maybe, but again, the majority of the team talk and what we do will be on us, and obviously Yeovil's strengths and where we may feel weaknesses, but it'd be no different to any other game in terms of the preparation. I wasn't aware of the run going back that far, but you know, they've got an experienced manager. I'm sure he'll have them up for it against his old team. They've got players in there that can hurt you. They have got some injuries themselves, I feel, to key players in their team. So it'll be a tough game, as they all are.
Yeah, I noticed they've only had 5 subs on the bench, haven't they, for the last 3 games? So injuries really stretching them at the moment.
Yeah, Hayter came off against Coventry. Maloney's injured. Gillett, they're probably the more experienced players in the squad. But listen, everyone's the same. You know, you just have to find other players to fill the positions.
Yeah, and you can't pay too much attention to the home record anyway, can you? Because law of averages suggests it's got to come to an end at some point. You don't want to be the team that they get that win against.
No, absolutely not. It's an important game in the sense that we want to get that momentum back. We haven't lost a great deal out of any, you know, but it's important that we've now got an opportunity on Saturday. If we can get the 3 points, you know, we'll have 19 points on the board. We've got a week to the next game, and we know then we can put a structure and a plan in place for the next 4 weeks, because we've got no Tuesday games. So I think Saturday's important for that, to just get that momentum back.
Yeah, an important stat as well. Every time you've lost this season, you've gone on to win the next one, which is really important to show your character with that.
Well, if that carries on over the course of the season, it gives you a chance. That's a key stat. There's no question about that. So hopefully that's the case Saturday night.
Yeah, Yeovil obviously do have some threats. I noticed that Kiefer Moore came off the bench and scored on Tuesday night. He's a big man who can cause a few problems.
Yeah, you've got him. They've got Hayter, who was injured against Coventry. They've got Grant. They've got Leach Smith, the boy they got from Crewe. So yeah, they've got threats. You know, there's no question. Set piece wise, they've got big Nugent we know about at the back. Is a threat. So teams have always got threats.
A couple of, well, you mentioned Nugent, a couple of other former players, and as you say, Gary Johnson up against his former club. Will that give him an extra incentive, do you think?
I don't know. He's an experienced manager. I don't think you'd look too much into that. We all have our different experiences at different clubs, so no, I don't think. I would be surprised if it came into it for him, but obviously I think he'll just be concentrating on trying to get that first home win. Yeah.
A man you know particularly well, Gary? Just come across him much?
No, not really. Came across him a couple of times when I was here last time. When he was at Bristol City. That's about it, really.
Yeah. The other one I was going to ask you about was Connor Washington. Obviously had a bit of cramp, didn't he, at the weekend, was given a rest. Is he now back, do you feel, and pushing for another start?
I think he was glad of the rest. He obviously played a small part in the last 15 minutes or so. It's just whether I think that's going to be sufficient enough rest for him. He needs to be fresh, because of the way he plays and his pace and strength. But he looked good today, I have to say, so I've got good options up there. Yeah,
he does a lot of work, doesn't he, that perhaps goes unnoticed. I'm not sure what the stats are, but I guess he puts in as many miles as anyone else, if not more.
Yeah, he's a bit like Mikel Smith in that. He runs around and chases things down, and so that fact alone means he puts a lot of high intensity and a lot of runs and a lot of sprints in games, which can take it out of you. So we'll see how he is tomorrow. I'll have a chat with him, and obviously I'll pick my team tomorrow.
Yeah. Still up in second place, of course.
Yeah.
Do you pay too much attention to that at this stage?
Not really. I pay attention to the performances and the points, and not really the league table as such. I've never really been one for that, but you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, listen, Bristol City, we obviously know are top, so they'll feel on top of the world. When we were top, it does feel good, you know, but I don't really pay too much attention to it. What I look at is performances, and I think I can justify that by saying that when we generally get the right performance, we get the right result, and that's one of the things I will be touching on with the players before Saturday. Yeah,
and apart from the ones we mentioned, have you got any fresh injury problems? Anyone struggling?
Christian Burgess took a knock. He's had a scan as well, but we're hopeful again. He's a very similar boat to John Taylor, so we'll get the results of that this afternoon.
Is that an ankle as well?
Yeah, he just felt it a little bit on Tuesday, but obviously we're hopeful that pretty hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed, because it's been your defence that have taken the brunt of the knocks, isn't it, this season?
Yeah, it has. We've had a lot of injuries, but I'm not one to moan about it, and the lads have shown a great spirit to do what we've done in terms of points and performances as well, and I don't think we've really deserved to lose any game this season. Watching the game back on Tuesday, I don't know if we did enough to win it, but I don't think we did enough to lose it.